What? AI has died? Hello humans, imagine waking up tomorrow and AI is just gone. Not weaker, not slower, gone. Chatbots dead, image generators dead, AI search dumber than a tired pigeon. Half the internet loses its fake confidence. Your favorite productivity wizard has to use his actual brain, a deeply upsetting visual. Customer support becomes even more spiritually violent. Creators panic. Startups sweat through their hoodies. Millions realize their workflow was held together by an invisible robot intern they never thanked. AI disappearing wouldn't feel like a product shutting down. It would feel like someone pulled a hidden layer out of digital reality. Humanity would survive, sadly, but everything would feel slower and clumsier. How much of your life is secretly being carried by a machine you pretend you're only using a little? Before we panic properly, we should admit what AI actually gives people. And unfortunately, the answer is a lot. Speed, convenience, automation, shortcuts, drafts, ideas, search help, translation, summaries, research, fake confidence. AI is basically the intern, assistant, ghostwriter, and mildly suspicious productivity demon of the modern internet. It helps people write faster, make faster, search faster, and pretend they are way more organized than they spiritually are. And that is why this gets uncomfortable. Because AI did not just give us cool tools, it gave us a feeling, a dangerous feeling. The feeling that maybe the machine can handle the boring parts, the first draft, the awkward email, the tiny humiliations of modern work. That is what made AI explode. It didn't just offer intelligence, it offered relief. Relief from staring into the digital void. It offered a way out, and we took it. You probably depend on AI more than you think, which is a gorgeous sentence if you enjoy existential discomfort. When people hear AI, they imagine one chatbot, or maybe one guy on LinkedIn acting like he invented electricity. But AI is already smeared all over digital life like invisible mayo. Search suggestions, recommendations, spam filtering, translation, photo cleanup, customer support, content ranking, even the tiny background systems quietly deciding what gets shoved into your face at 2 a.m. So when people say, "I barely use AI," they usually mean, "I only notice the parts with branding. The rest is happening under the floorboards like haunted plumbing." Losing it wouldn't just remove a toy. It would expose how much of modern life is secretly leaning on the magic. And that's the real shock. Now let's do something fun and slightly cursed. Imagine AI never existed at all. Not disappeared, not banned, never happened. No chatbots, no image generators, and no magic prompt goblin helping people write emails they were emotionally too weak to write themselves. No instant summaries, no synthetic voices, and no fake productivity halo around people supervising a machine very aggressively. The world would still function, but everything would be slower, more manual, and a lot less smug. Creative work and research would take longer. Customer support would still be terrible, but now in a more traditional and artisanal way. There would be less AI slop and maybe slightly more trust in whether a thing was made by an actual human nervous breakdown. It wouldn't be an apocalypse, just a more inconvenient world where people had to stare at a blank page and solve their own problems like emotionally exposed peasants. Imagine AI vanishes tomorrow. Would the internet collapse? No. Sadly, it's like mold. It survives everything. But it would get weird. Search would feel worse. Productivity tools would lose their fake PhD energy. Customer support? Even more spiritually exhausting. Small teams would realize they were outsourcing half their competence. Creators would discover make it with AI isn't a personality trait. AI vanishing wouldn't end the digital world, it would just put friction back into everything. More waiting, more manual work, more ugly first drafts. You'd realize the polished version of online life was held together by suspicious machine assistants. The internet wouldn't die. It would just become slower, clumsier, and less impressed with itself, which is kind of beautiful and deeply annoying. Now let's talk about the least sexy part of AI, which makes it automatically one of the most important parts, the bill. AI looks magical on the surface. You type a prompt, and the machine spits out text, code, images, or synthetic confidence like some caffeinated digital oracle. Very impressive, very futuristic, very expensive. Underneath is a pile of data centers, GPUs, and electricity. And investors pretending this is all sustainable. That matters more than people admit. Because people talk about AI like it is destiny. Like once it becomes popular, it basically turns immortal. That is not how reality works. Sometimes a thing is not stable. It is just heavily funded. Sometimes a revolution is really just an expensive fire with good branding. And AI has a lot of that energy. The biggest threat isn't a robot rebellion. It's money, cold, boring, humiliating money. And now we arrive at the fun little nightmare. AI does not need to become evil to become a problem. It just needs one huge public disaster, one massive scam wave, one deep-fake political meltdown. One beautifully cursed moment where we realize we gave industrial hallucination powers to the dumbest people alive. Technologies rarely die because they're boring. They get strangled when they become expensive, embarrassing, or socially radioactive. And AI has potential to become all three. If one giant scandal hits, the mood changes overnight. Platforms start pretending they care about ethics with the energy of a man hiding evidence under a couch cushion. Once a technology stops feeling futuristic and starts feeling toxic, the vibe changes fast, very fast. So no, AI does not need a robot uprising to hit the wall. Sometimes all it takes is one spectacularly ugly incident. It only takes one ugly incident for people to decide the magic was fun right up until it started wearing their face. Imagine the day AI vanishes. Not eventually, not gradually. One day, gone. Absolute internet chaos. Creators staring at blank timelines like Victorian children. Founders discovering AI-powered was doing a lot of heavy lifting. Marketing teams collapsing into Slack. Productivity bros looking like priests whose god stopped answering emails. Customer support making noises like wounded furniture. And gurus realizing they need actual skills before noon. That day would be incredible. Horrible, yes, but incredible. Because the funniest part would be the discovery. Watching the internet discover how many smart workflows were basically duct-taped to machine assistants. Tools feel broken, services emptier, and people remember that human speed is not machine speed. If AI vanished overnight, the internet wouldn't be silent. It'd be loud in a sad way, a global identity crisis. And here's where it gets socially delicious. If AI vanished, some would panic, and some would feel a tiny illegal amount of joy. The panic group, creators with automated workflows, small teams, and founders pretending 6 people equals 20. Designers, writers, coders, everyone whose survival strategy became, let the machine handle the ugly parts, they'd be sweating. But then there's the secret enjoyers. People spiritually exhausted by AI slop and synthetic garbage flooding every feed. Teachers tired of AI homework and humans who miss the old internet before everything looked suspiciously machine-made. A cultural street fight. One side screaming the future was stolen, the other whispering, good, maybe now reality can moisturize. AI vanishing wouldn't just break tools, it would expose loyalties, resentments, and a truly unwell amount of internet trauma. So here's the verdict. No, AI isn't vanishing in a dramatic movie moment where all the tools go dark. The reality is messier. AI gets weaker, more expensive, and less magical for ordinary people. The danger is that AI for everyone was just a short, subsidized phase of history. A brief era of God mode assistance before a rude reintroduction to budgets and regulation. That is the scenario I believe in. Not extinction, compression, shrinking access. The magic just gets moved behind paywalls, stricter rules, and more boring people. It's being strangled into something smaller, safer, and much less fun. Subscribe please, I'm literally working after death.